Hey guys, good evening. It's 5:30 on the dot. I'm going to give it maybe a couple more minutes just to see if we get anybody else. But welcome. My name is Ashley. I'm in talent acquisition with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, and I work with our sterile processing team across our network. We've got some special guests from our sterile team that are going to talk to you a little bit more about the experience. But I'm going to wait 2 more minutes. It looks like we still have some people admitting into the meeting. And while we're waiting, I will say, so you guys will be muted. If you would like to turn your camera on, that's great. We would love to see your smiling faces as we talk through the presentation with you guys. There is a button that is up at the top of your screen on your bar. It's the chat. So feel free to drop any questions throughout the presentation that you may have. And we have people that are monitoring that and helping us get through the deck. So encourage you to ask questions, and then we will have at the end of the presentation a dedicated time for question and answers as well. I'm ready to go, Warren. I see it's 5:32, so if we want to get started, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so I kind of told a little bit about what I do with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist and discussed the chat, and if you have any questions. So tonight we wanted to get a group together and invited you guys to have a conversation about our sterile processing careers. And again, this is across our campuses. We'll go over those in shortly. So next slide, please. So this is a lot of information for you guys, and we will be happy to share this with you after the meeting as well. But we really wanted to give you guys some statistics on all of our locations and what we stand for. Next slide. Yeah, so our main hospitals are in High Point, North Wilkesboro, Winston-Salem, Lexington, and Bermuda Run, or Davie. We call it Davie sometimes. Right now, we have openings in our High Point location and our Winston location. We'll talk through the details of those later in the presentation, but we have representatives from the Winston team and the High Point team today to talk to you as well. Next slide, please. So again, high level, these are our benefits. One of our biggest things is we offer health benefits on your first day. So if you are starting with us, you have your HR orientation on your first day, and you can enroll in your healthcare benefits on that first day, which is great. We have been working on our competitive pay scale over the past couple of years. One of the big things, so if I have any of my certified technicians on the call, we do have leadership positions that are eligible for a $3,000 sign-on bonus, which is great. But that is with our leadership roles currently. And then we do have some continuing education options if that's something that you are interested in. So 6 weeks paid parental leave. And then we have a program that's our wellness incentive. So we encourage you to do these incentives, and it's kind of things like your annual exams, and our company gives us credit for that and gives us free money to use at our doctor's offices or prescriptions. I know some people use them for eyeglasses or orthodontics, so there's a lot of options you can use that extra money for your benefits. So up to 200 hours of PTO per year, that's accrued PTO. And then we also have 7% match for retirement contributions. So before we get started with Tina, I just want to drop in a chat, see if you guys, so I talked about our locations. What locations are you guys interested in? Can you drop that in the chat and let me know? Winston or High Point? Winston? High Point or Winston? Okay, thanks for engaging, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, Desiree. Got another Winston. So there you go, guys. All right. Well, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. I'm again with HR, but these are the experts. So I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Tina Neal. She is one of our educators at our Winston campus. Right now, she's focusing, and it says Academy instructor on there. We have a sterile processing academy class that we'll discuss, and she is working specifically with that team right now. So Tina, I'm going to hand it over to you to speak.
Okay, thank you. If you can go to the next slide. Okay, so a little bit of a background of the Academy. We do a 12-week program to train and teach you um, exactly how to perform in sterile processing. This is a very fast-paced 12-week program, but I make sure that you come out being successful. There's a combination of 50% clinical and 50% classroom, and the classroom sets you up to be certified when you are finished with the 12-week program. I haven't had anyone to fail. Usually all of my students come out certified and they go for multiple certifications after that. So I run a very successful program. And with the increase or the certifications, you'll get a extra $1.50 pay increase for each certification that you achieve. And the hospital reimburses you for the cost of that test. Um, so there's plenty of opportunities to grow in sterile processing. Just to give you a little bit of the background of what sterile processing is here at Winston, we have 40 operating rooms. If you could just go back to the previous slide. We have 40 operating rooms that serve pediatrics and adults. We are very fast paced, very busy facility. We have anywhere from 70 to 120 cases a day for surgeries. And you can look on the screen and see how many trays we process a month and how many patients we touch by sterile processing. So, we stay busy. So this campus is very high paced. We're a level 1 trauma center, and we get all kinds of stuff come through. We love to promote within the department. So if you choose to come to the academy and get certified and continue with other certifications, there's plenty of opportunities to grow in sterile processing. And like it says there, there's 5 different certifications that you can obtain. um, we have specialty roles in the department with added salary incentives, such as preceptors, navigators, and super users. They all are added staff to help the workflow in sterile processing. Um, we're the only facility here in the region that offers the academy program, and we partner with HSPA for that particular certification. So every materials that come through the classroom are focused on the HSPA certification. Um, we have a multitude of exceptional mentor programs here on the campus. I was actually a part of the mentorship here. And it was a great program. It taught me so much about how I can expand my career. We also have nonstop education. Education is always on the front line here at Wake. Even if you decide to move from sterile processing to become a nurse or a scrub tech or anything else in the medical field, Atrium backs you up with assistance for that. We have a very collaborative environment. We're always doing something for the staff to make them feel welcome and uh, appreciated. We have everything from ice cream um, events to games. We recognize SPD staff. We make sure that they are feeling appreciated. They do work very hard in our department. And we also spotlight diversity, equality, and inclusion. We want to make sure that everybody that comes from every ethnicity is recognized, and they feel included in our department. You could move on to the next slides, the next few slides. Okay. So every shift has an educator in our department. Um, and this is a little message from our first shift educator who has been in the field for 33 years. She's been with us for, I think, 21, maybe going on 22 years. She has truly made it a career for herself. She started out as a tech and just worked her way up to becoming an educator. And you you can read the quote here, but she's very passionate about the work that she does, and it's very important that people that come to our department are just as passionate. These instruments go straight to a patient, and for us, it's either harm or help. So we have to really pay attention to detail when we are focusing on our job.
So Tina, I just want to stop you real quick. So for the people on the call, so what does a typical day for a sterile processor look like when they're on the floor?
A typical day would be putting out, it depends on the shift, but usually first shift puts out a lot of trays that are needed for the day, that patients may be waiting for. Um, we get a lot of traumas and add-on cases just because we're such a large volume OR. Um, but typically you are on the move and on the go the entire 8 hours. And that's not a bad thing because your day goes by really fast.
Right. And Lauren, can you back me up to the academy? I just want to add a few points from my perspective as well. So I know she mentioned it was following in line with the certification. So the education books that this team has put together, it's a big binder, and I mean, it's amazing, Tina, the work you guys did to really help these new hires coming into this field and getting them prepared for that certification. So I just wanted to speak to that work on your end, getting them ready for that. And also to clarify, so the non-certified technician role, so these are candidates that we hire 4 times a year. They are not required to have any experience in sterile processing. Now, if they do have some healthcare experience, I know that's something that you guys look for, Tina, or is there anything else in particular you look for these candidates?
Just motivation in your interview. If you've had a pretty steady background with employment, that's a bonus. We want people to come here and stay and make it a career.
Gotcha. And so our next, and just to let you guys know, it looks like our next academy class we have finished for the year, and we are starting to accept resumes for this program right now, and it's not confirmed, but we're looking at a February 2nd start date. So more to come on that, but there is a rec open and you can apply, and it has non-certified technicians, sterile processing academy. So if you see the academy, again, this is specific to our Winston campus, and it's no experience required. So if you, again, we can answer any more questions, but I think that's all I wanted to add, Tina, and just make sure they understood that they didn't have to have experience for these roles.
Yeah, no experience is required. And this is a really fun academy. It's completed with a full-on graduation with a certificate of completion, and I haven't had a student that has not enjoyed this class.
It's a fun group. They form this bond and they have this camaraderie with each other. And I love going to visit them. And I know we put a note on here. They have a special graduation ceremony for them. Once they're done with the program, they move to their shifts that they were made the offer for, so first, second, or third, and they still it's like a little family. So I think it's been a wonderful success for the Winston campus. So again, just wonderful. And somebody was trying to type a question in the chat. I think Denitra has a question. But Tina, is there anything else you want to add or change slides?
I'll take questions if they have any.
I was trying to see if. Okay. Okay, what if you took classes and finished but don't have the hands-on part? So I think she's talking about, I assume like a GTCC or a DCCC sterile class program where they finish the certificate there. So we do like that experience. And I know sometimes sometimes it depends on if you've had, I guess, gone through our internship program and done clinicals at our hospital. Most of those, some of them we can do a shortened orientation training, or some of them may join the academy if they need additional experience. So there's a couple different paths we could take. Some of them in our technical schools also will go and take the certification on their own and become certified. And then at that point, they can be hired in as a certified technician. So that's the way I see the three paths going for someone who's completed the program through a technical school. Tina, do you have anything to add on that?
I will recommend that if you don't have your clinical hours, to just join the academy, because it won't hurt for you to have a refresher for what is happening in the classroom, but you'll definitely need those clinical hours.
And then I did, thank you, Madison. So I was about to add, so Madison added the Academy application. So if you click that link, that will take you directly to the application. Those are going directly to Tina so she can review. And again, we're going to be starting interviews soon, so we can hopefully make offers by the end of the year, first of the year, for them to start in February. And then BJ had another question. So we're talking about kind of our non-experienced guys, or maybe a partial experience with the technical classes. Before I kind of talk about what we have open, I will say, so we have, if you are certified, you can come in as a certified technician. If you do have experience, there's other levels. So we have openings as an OR liaison. We do have lead tech roles that are available. We have an educator if you have background in sterile processing education. That is going to be coming open for our central team. So there are other options for experienced technicians. We do still look at experienced technicians without certification. I will say, once you're certified, you do get paid more. So that's a bonus to get certified. And then once you're certified, you do have all these other avenues to continue to make more money within this career as a sterile processor. Like I said, the liaison, the leads, the supervisors, the educators. So there's a lot of different options there once you are certified. Okay, I don't know the answer to this question, Tina or Jarman. Jarman, you can chime in too. So the next question BJ asked, he said, I'm from Canada. Do you recognize CSA standard?
In the state of North Carolina, they
do not.
They don't.
Okay. I hope you heard that, BJ. And then we also had another question. Desiree asked, can I take the classes if I already work at the hospital? Yes, we have had transfer employees come into the Sterile Academy and go through the program. So that is an option as well. All right, Tina, what slide do you want to go to next? Let's make sure we're getting, let's see.
I think Jarman's up next.
Yay, Jarman. Okay, guys, I'm going to introduce Jarman real quick, and we'll let her talk about High Point Medical Center. So she's my manager at High Point Medical Center. She has done a lot of things with sterile processing and surgical technicians. She has a lot of background in the OR. And I'm going to hand it over to her to talk to you about her roles and her hospital.
Ah, beautiful. Hello, all. Um, I'm the sterile processing manager at High Point. My initial background was as a scrub tech, first assist, for about 20 years or so. I was in sterile processing for about 5 years in Texas before I came here. Um, North Carolina has definitely grown on me, as has High Point. It's very quaint. It's definitely a different feel than the bigger hospitals, but I have grown to love it. I manage about a team of 20. It is very team inclusive oriented. We run 3 shifts. I think that my team is awesome, all 3 shifts. They are always willing to help one another. They kind of go that extra mile. And we have the same, it's like, even if I don't like you, I'd hug you on your worst day. So that's the kind of thing you kind of put forth, that compassion, which kind of builds a great team. High Point has made some great strides in the year that I've been here. We have gone almost completely paperless. We have a new scanning tracking system that we've implemented. We next week will be implementing and closing our loop. So we will be training our OR nurses to scan things upstairs, which is the last step in my process to get SPM to be completely done. All of our machines are interfaced. I have played, it's been a journey for sure. We've implemented lots of new products and so on and so forth. I've grown with the team. I've kind of been blessed enough to have some really great people that were there when I got there, and I'm also pretty lucky to get to build the team around that as well. So I have a lead tech on each shift, first, second, and third. I have 3 instrument specialists. Our busiest services are open heart, spines, and ortho. So we have to have service leads for that to kind of keep everything in track. So there's that. I think that like I said, my team does a great job. I think that everyone that we've added so far has meshed really well. Um, I think that I can appreciate the people that have been there for 40 years welcoming me, not only me, but the new team members that have come into us. I am a corners straight all the time kind of girl. We've moved a lot of furniture. We've revamped the department. High Point has definitely had a facelift in the past 12 months, I'll say. And I think that they've all been in pretty positive directions. Every new tech that I've hired, whether it was from a program they needed hands-on experience or they weren't certified, I've had at least all 4 of my techs come and get certified within the 6 months that they were with me. So we've, I think, like I said, I can't say enough about how great the team is. They do a great job. We have 11 ORs there, and even though it's just 11, they stay pretty busy. My first shift technically is doing most of the turnovers for the day, getting everything ready. Second shift does a lot more of the productivity because once those cases come down, the brunt of those cases are coming down after 12, between 12 and 3:30. So they get slammed, really, they do, and they take it in stride. They don't complain. They do all the things. And third shift, of course, comes in and picks up the baton at the end of the night. Whatever day shift and second shift don't get done, they finish it out. So we've definitely, this picture here, yes, we've been trialing the hoods. This complete coverage for decontam. The ladies have been complaining that even though they're covered, somehow their necks were getting wet. So the same striker hoods that we wear upstairs in the OR for totals, we're going to be now wearing in decontam. And that helmet that you see her with is completely motorized, runs a fan, so they're not overheated, has a speaker they can hear. It's a pretty cool little thing to have. So they were super excited to get that. We'll be starting using those at the beginning of the year. So the last thing is I think High Point is really good to reaching out to every demographic of the community there. We have a project search program there, and we bring volunteers into the department. Some of those individuals, most of them are maybe special needs, autistic on a spectrum, if you will, and they come in and they do a wonderful job in our department. My team embraces them. At the end of their first week, they're up and moving and going by themselves. It gives them a sense of self, pride. They're learning. They're in the workforce. They're doing an important thing. And I love to see them come. Every semester, every couple weeks, we get a new volunteer, and I absolutely love to see them come through the department. So in the future, I hope to retain a couple of my volunteers just because if we're offering the service of showing them what it's like to be in the workforce, I think we should definitely bring them in and allow them to do what they're great at. So that's all I have.
So Jarman, so I see in the pictures they're wearing full PPE. Could you kind of talk to the group and let them know kind of what they wear on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. On my prep and pack side of the department, we wear new scrubs every day. We just had talked about this today. You can't wear any scrubs from outside the building. You have to wear a fresh set of clean scrubs every single day. We cover our shoes. No jewelry, no perfume, no lotions, none of those things that make you, no big earrings. And we wear bonnets. No polish, no long nails, no piercings. Anything that would single you out and make you who you absolutely are, you have to come in and be a blank canvas for us because you never know. You might be the guy who ends up with the pin in the tray or the earring might fall out, and that goes directly to a patient. So we can't have anything that can contaminate a tray. In our decon side, it's full body PPE. You have shoe covers, you have your gown, you have your mask, you have your hood or helmet, complete face cover. You have an underset of gloves, and then we wear gloves to our elbows. So you're pretty covered. It's a lot to put on. That's why the ladies are super excited about the helmet because it's a one-stop shop. You put on boot covers and the hood covers you completely from top to bottom. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and this is across campuses, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. Lauren, next slide. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about our current openings. So we have a majority in Winston campus. Again, that's our largest sterile team. And we have manager roles on our first, second shift, and one on our supervisor role on our third shift. And I want to talk a little bit. So our certified technicians, we are constantly looking for people who are experienced or have that certification. So that's an ongoing recruitment effort from myself and from my hiring managers that we're just looking for those experienced candidates. So we do have some openings, but again, my information, I'll make sure you guys have it. I'm always open to chatting with people who are experienced and keeping your resume on file. So when we do have openings, I can pass those to my leaders and let them know that you're interested. And when we have something for a specific shift or a specific location, that's something that I can work with them on. And Davey, we did have that one certified role. We did fill that. So right now it's really our Winston campus. And I know High Point maybe had one, but it's been filled. So Jarman got that filled pretty quickly. But again, happy to have conversations if you are interested in those roles, and I can share that with my leaders. So speaking of leaders, again, I wanted Jarman and Tina to be on this call since that's where most of our openings have been. But we wanted to share with you some of our other sterile processing leaders across our campuses. So we put their little pictures, and Lori's a daisy tonight. She didn't get back to us, but again, they're all amazing. And I know my two leaders spoke to the culture, but really anywhere with our organization, I just have enjoyed these teams and working with them for years now. And I can't speak enough positive things about, everything that they've been doing. So next slide, Lauren. So I'll say one thing. So I have gone to visit my teams. I have gone in the rooms and watched them do decontam. And I know both my leaders spoke to this. It is hard work. They have a lot of fun at the same time. You have to memorize a lot of instruments, test a lot of instruments. I think what I want to say is that there is such a positive impact on the hospital and our patients in this role that you would be doing. I'm sure some of you have known a family member or yourself had a surgery at one of our hospitals, and just know that one of our team members made sure you were healthy and safe. So kudos to my sterile team for sure. And I'm going to open it up if you guys have any questions, and I'll read those out loud in the chat. So if you'll drop those in the chat, or if there's anything I've missed, again, happy to give you some more information. I see typing, so I'm waiting, and then I'll read it out loud. While we're waiting on questions, does anybody want to let me know why they're interested in a sterile processing position? You'll type that in the chat as well, and I can read some of those out loud. Jarman and Tina. So Desiree is asking the shift times. Do one of you guys want to take that, Jarman? For first, second, third?
I don't know if, Jarman, your shifts are set up the same as our times. Our start time for first shift is 7 a.m. to 3:30, and then second shift from 3 to 11:30, and third from 11 to 7:30. We do have a 12-hour bow shift also, but those are where we stand with our hours.
Those are my predominant hours as well. I do have a couple swing shifts. I have a 12 to 8, and I have a 8 to 4:30 that kind of comes in and offsets the balance in the morning if we're really busy. So, but those are my predominant hours as well.
Yeah. And I will say, I know especially Wilkesboro does have some swing shifts too. So I think it depends on the hospital if there's other options available. But for the most part, that's the first, second, third. And Erica asked, what are the times for the academy? So when you are made the offer as a non-certified technician who is going into the academy for that 12-week program, the 12-week program will start on the first shift. Now, at the time of the offer, you will be given the offer for the shift. So the first, second, or third at that time. So once you've gone through graduation and you've completed the sterile processing exam, you will go into your offered shift. So at that point, you would transition into first, second, or third, depending on what you were offered. So Bonnie asked, so we kind of talked about it. And you guys, again, are the experts, but she says, what does a sterile processor actually do? So I can answer, again, I'm not the expert, but you would be the person who is cleaning all of the instruments. So the OR will let them know what surgeries they have for the next day, and they will pick and pack and clean and get all the instruments ready for that particular surgery. And again, that's just kind of my interpretation. So Jarman and Tina, I'm going to throw that over to you to give some more details.
Okay, I'll chime in. So, essentially, our instruments have a life cycle. They come from the room that has used the instruments to the decontamination area, which is where they get cleaned of any kind of bioburden and gross debris. Then we push them through to the assembly side where they are put back together essentially for the next patient. Then they go out to the pod or to the OR directly to be used.
Jarman, do you want to add anything?
No, that she hit it. That's the life cycle.
Okay. Again, mine was high level, but so I had a comment. Erica said, I'm interested in sterile processing because it's a very important role to take on. And she says, I don't know a lot about and the challenge of knowing all the instruments. So yes, it is a challenge for sure, but it's very rewarding. BJ asked, do you hire Canadians? I have been a sterile tech for 3 years in Canada, was wondering and how to come to the States. So I I'm actually not sure about that question. I will say that it's an on-site role. We do have to live in North Carolina. Lauren, do you have anything to add on that one?
I do not. That's something that we'll probably have to take a look into. I mean, yes, we would hire Canadians, absolutely.
Yes.
But a matter of like the certifications and things like that, that's something that we'll have to do some research in. Because it's not something that we do on the daily. So
Yeah. So BJ, I'm going to write that question down, and I have your information from the registration. So I'll be sure to reach back out to you in regards to follow up on that and make sure we're getting you what you need. Okay, so Denitra says, I'm from Ohio. I have been working in the medical field for a long time. I wanted to move on and go to surgery. The school I attended didn't have that. They only had sterile processing. So I just finished the classes in August this year and walked the stage in January. Well, congratulations on completing, it looks like, the sterile processing program. I guess my question are you interested in relocation and, becoming certified? Denitra, I say I will reach out to you and we can have those conversations and hopefully pass your information along to the leaders to see about a role. Oh, you said you're in Winston. I'm sorry. I'm from Ohio. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read and run the screen a little bit. So which school were you at, Denitra? Virginia University. Have John Rentina, have you heard of that program?
I'm an Ohioan, so yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, congratulations. It's in Akron, Ohio. Okay. Yeah. Jarman, there's Jarman. She's like, yep, I know. All right, Denitra, I'll follow up with you and see if we can't get your information over to my leaders. All right, guys, any other questions? All right, well, I have BJ asking another question. While we're making sure that I'm answering all the questions, and I wanted to point out, so this slide, if you will scan the QR code. So BJ, I have not spoken to the hourly rate. It depends on what role you come in, what your experience is. And again, all of that information will be shared if an offer is presented at that time. Okay, so the last slide I was talking about. So join our team. This QR code, it takes you to a quick survey, and it asks you, which role you're interested in, which location. I was trying to think what else is on there. Your name, your contact information. So this is for me. I would like to use this to be able to communicate with you guys and reach back out after the presentation. If you have any friends or colleagues who might be interested, you can share this with them. So the information is passed to me. And then again, I will reconvene with my leaders and make sure that they're getting all the needed contact information for you guys. So I don't see the slides. So Erica's saying she doesn't see the slides for the QR code. I can't scan it. Okay. Lauren, are we going to send this out?
yeah, give me a sec. We can get
Okay.
that link. Give me one sec.
Okay, we're going to drop the link to you guys in the chat, and hopefully that'll work. If you're on a phone or I saw somebody's in a meeting or at work, then you can do it later from that link. Awesome. Anthony said he's interested in Winston or High Point, and he just filled out the form. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. And like I said, I'll be following up with everyone. I appreciate you guys for joining. I'm just going to make sure Jarman or Tina don't want to add. Do you guys want to add anything else before I close this out?
No, ma'am. I think we covered everything.
And thank you guys for joining.
They're excited to meet you guys, and I'm excited to follow up. So thank you for coming tonight to hear more about our sterile processing program and all of our locations, and just learn more overall about Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. Again, we all love what we do, and I'm excited to connect with you all. So
I just dropped the link in the chat. So for those of you who are on your phone and you can't scan the QR code, hopefully you can click on the link. Just let us know if you can't. If not, we can pull your emails from your initial registration, and Ashley can reach out to y'all that way as well.
Yeah, and I just dropped my email in the chat. It was on the registration. And again, I'll be following up, but I just dropped it in there as well. So feel free again to reach out to me. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. Have a good evening. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.